It is not the case that in this country at least, that universities have always been on the left. You'll hear that argument these days. Oh, well, it's the academic life, that there are reasons that just trends to the left anyway. Not true. And I'll give you one fact that will prove it all by itself. After General Dwight Eisenhower returned to this country, he was Supreme Allied Commander during the Second World War, and after the Second World War, he was the NATO commander. And then he returned to this country, retired from the military, and before he ran for president, he was president of Columbia University. A former general as president of Columbia University. And he was, as best I can tell, a very popular, well-liked president. He wasn't there long because he ran for president of the United States. But the idea of a prominent former general becoming president of a major American university today it's just inconceivable. But it wasn't that there are people still alive who can remember Dwight Eisenhower as president of Columbia University, smack in the middle of Manhattan. All right. So when I went through Dartmouth College, the great professors, and I had great professors, the senior people, the senior men, and they were almost all men, had been trained during the 1950s before the craziness started. But the junior professors, the associate professors, the ones who were just beginning to make their way into the academy, had come up during the 1960s, and they were all to the left. And the thinking in those days was, this is going to take a long time to correct itself, but it will correct itself. A straightforward, apolitical appreciation of the material is the norm. This move to the left was distorted by the Vietnam War and all the disruptions of the 1960s, but eventually the 1960s generation of academics will retire and American universities will correct themselves and return to the norm. That did not happen. The 60s generation has retired. But before they retired, they set in place a self-perpetuating academic culture. So conservatives are not going to get jobs in sociology departments or to a considerable extent English departments at any major university. It will be held against you if you're a conservative. That's this kind of formal review mechanism militates against conservatives. And then kids coming up who might otherwise be academics see that, why on earth would I consider becoming an English teacher when nobody wants to read Shakespeare for the sake of Shakespeare anymore? It's all gender studies and power structures and deconstruct. It's all garbage. So you get this self-reinforcing mechanism. We won't let conservatives in, and therefore, and kids who are in the range of normal to conservatives say, I'm not going to become an academic. And the system begins to perpetuate itself. How you stop that, I just don't know.